Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for September the 17th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. We had two cards fall out, so that doesn't count. So, one card for overall energy. After that, I'll pull one card for each sign of the zodiac. And then after that, we'll combine the meanings of those cards to see what our predictions are for each sign. I just had cards fall out of this deck for the second time as I'm shuffling. When I have a deck that is being very boisterous like that, then that means that there's a lot of energy moving around or shifting during the day. So I think we can expect that there's going to be some changes that pop up, some very noticeable changes that pop up during the day. Just tried to do it again. All right, let's look at our overall energy. Shows up as High Priestess in reverse. This just basically talks about the idea that there is some confusion. Confusion is kind of prevalent today. So the High Priestess, when she's right side up, is somebody like me who knows things that, she doesn't even always know exactly how she knows them. Or a he, could be a he as well. When it's in reverse, this is like confusion to the massive degree. So just as much as we know stuff that we shouldn't know, when the high priestess comes up in reverse, it's saying, man, we don't know stuff that if we did know, it would be incredibly helpful. So there's a lot of confusion coming in today. I am getting the sense too that this is playing out um, in the world as well, that we're going to be hearing about some kind of event today that I don't know if it'll happen today. I think we're going to hear about it today. And there's going to be either different variations of this story, and it is something playing out on the world stage, either different variations of this story, or there's just going to be some actually acknowledged confusion about some part of this story. So, our news outlets usually don't acknowledge confusion. Usually they say, this is how this happened. And then maybe another one will say, this is how this happened, and it's a different story. So, that's the type of energy I'm expecting to see today. And lots of activity too with the way those cards were popping. Today's definitely going to be an interesting day. All right, so let's take a peek at predictions for each sign, starting with Aries. Ace of Swords. Now, this is super interesting, Aries. It's almost a contradiction, except the storyline doesn't show it as a contradiction. If I didn't get the storyline as soon as I looked at this card, if Spirit hadn't nudged that into my mind, I would be really spinning my wheels here logically. But basically, what's going on here, Aries, is that you are having a new understanding of something. This is an epiphany of a thought or an idea that helps you not only understand one area of your life, which you may have been looking for that information in that area, but this is profound enough that it also helps puzzle pieces fall into place in other areas of your life as well. Okay? So, some type of profound understanding is what's coming in. Now, with our overall energy being that of confusion, here's what I'm picking up is happening for you, Aries. This new understanding is one that changes things for you. Once you get this, then things are going to look very different to you than what they did before. And so you're going to be wanting to make some changes that reflect your new perspective. And all that confusion is coming in as to how can I do this? And there's a little bit of chaos here because you went from having one perspective that was dominant, that was working with how everything works in your life in hopefully a nice routine for the most part. Now you've got this other perspective that's dominant, and the rest of your life isn't geared for this new perspective. It's still geared to run on this old perspective. So as this new perspective comes in and you're acting on that, now that's causing some interruptions and some delays and some blockages because the rest of, what you've been interacting with has not adjusted to interacting with this new perspective yet. Okay? Not sure if the hands really help with that explanation there. I hope they do. Let's see. Let's look at Taurus. Taurus, Taurus. What do we have? Strength card. Taurus, now this is really interesting. And this talks about this idea that, yes, there is a lot of confusion in your life right now. However, you're handling it in a very calm, secure, stable way. Like you're not mentally and emotionally getting riled up because of this confusion. You're not getting anxious. We don't see you getting worried. We just see you kind of standing still and just knowing, you know, everything is going to work out fine in the end. Whatever is going on here, it's going to have a good end. So that's where we see you, Taurus. Next up, we're looking at, who is there? Gemini. We're looking at Gemini. Gemini. Four of Cups coming up here, Geminis. Geminis, all this confusion has you really tempted to throw a massive pity party with the whole why me, how come things are so difficult, blah, 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 blah. So, if we feel that energy coming in, then we want to head that off. We don't want to sit in that pity party. And the reason we don't, even though it feels justified, a pity party always feels justified. Okay, because there's some kind of disappointment that's going on. That's why it feels so justified. But it's not productive because we're looking at the negative, which makes us create more negative, whether we realize we're doing it or not. So if we can catch ourselves before we go totally into that pity party and turn it around, start looking for, okay, but I know there's a silver lining. What's the silver lining? And start looking for it. Then that will help you to start manifesting the things that you want more quickly than just wallowing in that righteous feeling pity party. Okay, so Cancer's your card just fell out. King of Cups. What is happening? There's something that you really, really, really like, maybe even have strong feelings for. Definitely there's an attachment here between you and something or someone. And this confusion is around whatever this is that you're attached to. So there may be some confusion having to do with a person that you're strongly attached to, or an idea, or a plan, or a dream that you're strongly attached to, a situation that you're strongly attached to. There's something going on that's causing some confusion around that in your life today. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Two of Rods showing up in reverse. Leos, Two of Rods in reverse. What do we have? Confusion and more confusion. Here's what's going on, Leos. You have been looking at how you're impacting other people in your sphere of influence lately. And I think you've come to the conclusion that there's a particular way you want to influence them. But to do that, you're going to have to make some adjustments and some changes. And it looks to me like you're really confused as to how could that possibly happen? How could you make those adjustments and changes? And for some of you, these adjustments and changes are going to have to do with who you are partnered up with, whether it's an employer-employee type relationship, whether it's romantic, couple type thing. There's some kind of toxicity having to do with somebody that you're partnered up with, and you're feeling like this, like you carrying this toxicity around with you is showing people, sharing with people this toxicity, which is the opposite of what you want to do. Okay. All right, so that was for who? Leo. Next up, we're looking at Virgo. Virgo, 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 Virgo. Okay. You guys have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So Virgos, this just tells me that there's somebody who you were planning on collaborating with today, and I think suddenly and unexpectedly, they're just not coming to the table with what they said they would for this collaboration. And this is what has you confused. You're like, wait, you said this wasn't going to be a problem. Why is this a problem all of a sudden? What do I need to do to pick up the pieces and move forward? A lot of things around here that are causing confusion. Now, this is not a huge partnership. Partnerships have different cards for me. A collaboration is, we're getting together and we're doing something. It's kind of a one-off thing. It's helping a kid with their science project. Once you've done it and it's over, then that's done. It's not the same as like a partnership would be like where you have a mortgage company and you're paying your mortgage to them, or you have an employer and you're going to work for them. That's more of a partnership. This is a collaboration. So it's something that is, not a uh, repetitive everyday thing. But there is some type of collaboration here that's not coming together the way you thought it would. And there's a lot of confusion around what's going on to cause this to not be what you were expecting it to be. All right, next up, we're looking at Libra. Now, you guys have the Six of Rods showing up here, Libra. Now, this is really interesting. Hmm. So Libra, somebody is showing you some kind of appreciation for something that you've done that not only helped yourself, but also helped other people as well. There is some confusion around this appreciation. Okay. So if you are being honored with a banquet, let's say, for whatever this was that you did, then there may be confusion around the time or the location or the date of the banquet that shows up here today. If you did if you did something that earned you a bonus at work, there may be confusion about when is this bonus actually going to be paid? How much is this bonus? Something along those lines. There is something, this could even be somebody expressing appreciation for something that you did that benefited a lot of people, but you really didn't do it. And there's some confusion about who actually did do it. So there's lots of different ways that appreciation can show up in our lives, and lots of different ways that this card combination can play out. But confusion around appreciation that people are showing towards you is what we have. All right. It's not a lack of appreciation, but it's a confusion around the appreciation. Next up, we have Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, Seven of Rods showing up in reverse, Scorpios. Boo, boo, doo, doo, doo. What is going on here? Scorpios, I think we may be lowering our standards today, and that is causing confusion for other people around us. You're like, wait, I thought the rules with Scorpio were this and this and this, and I thought they were pretty much written in concrete. Now I see that they're written in sand. What on earth? So we want to be careful about lowering our standards so we don't throw people off. All right, let's see. That was too many, guys. Man, this day just continues to be very active. Sagittarius. Two of Pentacles coming up in reverse, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, there's a lot of confusion around the idea that there's something that you normally take care of that kind of falls through the cracks. And it's interesting because I think that there's some kind of confusion today that makes this fall through the cracks, and whatever falls through the cracks creates more confusion. So it's kind of this cycle there. All right, let's look at Capricorn. That was Sagittarius. Capricorn is up next. Capricorn, Capricorn. Nine of Pentacles, Capricorns. Mhm. This is interesting, Capricorns. You're doing something very self-sufficiently, independently, not, requiring other people's aid or assistance here. And this has somebody really confused. They're like, wait, I thought you wanted my help. What's going on? Hmm, interesting stuff. Next, we're looking at Aquarius. 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 Did you guys know the divine only looks at the good in you? He walks the walk of focusing on the good. Doesn't just talk the talk. Aquarius. Wheel of Fortune showing up in reverse. Aquarius, so here's the thing. There's something going on where there's some confusion. And I'm going to say that this has to do with relationships, that there's some confusion in some relationships in your life. Can be romantic, doesn't have to be. Can be a family relationship, friendship, business relationship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So here's what this confusion. Yeah. So here's what this confusion should be telling you. It should be telling you that whatever this is that you're trying to accomplish in this relationship, it's not the right time to do it. If there's a lot of confusion going on, then it's not the right time to be trying to push something forward. We never want to push something forward in a relationship because that never ends well. Let's just say it that way. I don't want to go into all the specifics, but it never ends well. So I feel like Aquarius, a lot of you are not understanding why this is not working the way that you want it to. And so, because you're not understanding why it's not working the way you want it to, you're just trying to sort of push this round peg into this square hole and make it fit the way you want it to fit. But it's not the right time. It's just not the right time. And that's what's going on here. Like there's nothing you can do to make it be the right time. You can push as hard as you want. All you're going to do is break something, you know. This is not the right time to try to push something forward if there's confusion. So be thinking about what relationships there are confusion in, and definitely make sure that you're not trying to push forward in those areas of confusion in that relationship. Otherwise, spring is going to snap and it's not going to be pretty. All right, let's look at Pisces. World card coming up here. Pisces, I think you have some real confusion going on within yourself about what is it that is your priority? What is your ideal? What is it that you want to accomplish? You're being faced with some real questions here about that. And you're not exactly sure what the answers are just yet today. You're going to have to really consider this before you know. And that's okay. Give yourself the time to do that. These are big enough questions that you're pondering that it would be silly not to take the time to do that. So don't rush yourself. Okay. And don't let anybody else rush you either. All right. So that's what we have for today, guys. Thank you all so much for being here and spending some of your wonderful, precious time with me. I do super appreciate it. And of course, also, you guys are my sponsors. So please remember, put a thumbs up if you feel like you benefited from this video. Share it out to the world if you think somebody else could. And put some comments down below. Let me know how I'm doing. Also, I am doing readings and Reiki sessions today, either online or on the phone. If you would like to schedule one of those, all you have to do is get a hold of my phone number and either call me or text me. And that number is part of my contact info on that website. So yeah, get a hold of me and we'll get you scheduled quickly, quickly, quickly. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.